Good morning, Uptown Biz Pros, and happy Thursday. For some of you, I'm sure you'll be celebrating Good Friday tomorrow and hopefully getting a 3-day weekend. And the rest of us entrepreneurs will be working. But that's okay. Enjoy anyway. Yes, for those of you that attend Brandon Biz Pros on Friday, we do have a meeting tomorrow. I don't remember who our featured. Oh, we do. We need a featured speaker tomorrow, so we're looking for one. Did you not get a? You didn't get a response, did you, Danielle? Yet? Oh, well, that's no bueno. Okay, well, anyway, we'll figure it out tomorrow. For today, Ron is going to be our featured speaker. So let's start off with intros with Dave, Pacesetter Media.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. Can you hear this now? So did y'all hear that?
Yes, it's working now.
Oh, good. So whatever I did, I added some gain to that, and it works now in OBS. So now I can play videos, have the sound come through. But that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is this. Who knows what these numbers are? David might be the only person who knows. So these numbers are my. Did someone have a guess?
Nishoni.
4 numbers divisible by 5. Is it?
Oh, well, okay.
Is that the answer?
That is certainly true.
It's race car font.
It is a race car font.
My credit score between 20 and 25.
Good one.
Well, it is my hourly rates. So $125 an hour is the stop everything emergency rate. Someone says, I need it right now, stop everything, a minimum of 2 hours for that. That's happened a few times. 85 is my rush rate, which it happens regularly enough. 55 is my usual rate. That's just standard workflow, no rush, no urgency. 35 is my rate for repeat monthly time, minimum of 5 hours a month for a minimum of 6 months. So that's what I want to bring up, mostly because it's that 35 an hour rate that I want to talk about for a second. That if you know folks who have an ongoing need for what I do, web design, promotional, graphics for Facebook, anything like that, photography, and they need something like 5 hours a month. Video editing, that's another thing I help folks with. It's one of my ongoing things with some clients. I charge $35 an hour, minimum of 5 hours a month. Part of my strategy in my business is to get a few more clients like that. It's the consistency that I'm looking for. Therefore, I'll offer a very good rate for that consistently monthly work. It is not rush work, by the way. That's still the 85 and the 125. Dave Lobig, Pacesetter Media. I've been doing web design and print materials and graphic design for 20 years. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Dave. And let's go to Nishoni.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Nishoni Harvey with Authors of Flame. I help business owners write their books so they can show themselves as an authority in their niche, get speaking engagements, reach their ideal clients, and gain visibility to boost their revenue. I do this through several ways. I do it through ghostwriting to help you write your own book, through ghostwriting, and I also do it by helping you write your own book through programs and courses. So if you have any other questions, my information is in the chat, and you can find me on learnhowtowriteabook.com.
All right. Thanks, Nishoni. That being said, make sure you put your information in the chat if you have, or in the notes if you haven't done so already. Lamar, you want to go, or you want to wait for a few minutes and go later?
I can totally go now.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Lamar Woods. I'm a software developer, and I work at Woods and Tech. We essentially are a software consulting company that builds all types of software, but specializes in mobile app development. I also take those skills and apply it to my other company called SoHeart, which is a drug addiction recovery company. And we help people walk the recovery together using our proprietary technology. It's a mobile app that connects peers so they can have a conversation.
All right. Thanks, Lamar. Danielle, mouthful of coffee and everything.
And it's really hot. You see my face just turned pink? It's like off coffee. Good morning, Danielle Dryden Tax Resolution. The most important order of business this morning is that it is Major League Baseball opening day.
You're wearing the wrong shirt.
No, I'm wearing the right shirt. The end. I help individuals and small businesses resolve federal and state tax debts. There hasn't been a whole lot of tax resolving going on lately because the IRS has been making its own problems for taxpayers as opposed to taxpayers creating problems for themselves, which is the normal course of business. Tax is complicated. If you have no idea what's going on with taxes right now, you are not alone. Tax professionals are also joining you in that camp these days. So if you are having any issues with your taxes, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or another tax professional, a CPA, enrolled agent to ask questions. It is entirely possible that we will say, I don't know, but then the follow-up is, I'll find out for you. There's a lot of moving parts right now. If your tax professional purports to know all the things right now, you might want to consider finding a new tax professional. One of the things that did happen yesterday, actually, in tax is that many of you know I've announced before that $10,200 of your unemployment benefits was deemed non-taxable income by the last piece of ledge that was passed. Many people had already filed their returns and had balances due or had paid taxes on those benefits when now they don't have to. So the IRS announced yesterday that they are going to retroactively go back and review those returns and correct returns as necessary to issue refunds. They're expecting any refunds to be issued sometime in May, which thank God is next month. But it will continue throughout the summer. So if you fall into that category, it might be a few months before you see an issue, but please, for the love of all the things, contact your tax professional. Because if you are able to claim any additional credits associated with that income being non-taxable, then your return does have to be amended. So call your tax person. If you don't have a tax person, please call me and I will find you a tax person. Danielle Dryden with Dryden Tax Resolution. Sorry, that was a little long-winded. Go Yankees.
Oh, no. I hope the Rays kick their butt this year.
No.
Arlene, you're up.
Arlene Jacobs with Dignity Memorial, and we are looking for people who want a final piece of real estate that must maybe something more unique. So I plan funerals, but I pre-plan funerals, and I also do cemetery, and we can actually do under the water in the Neptune Memorial Reef, and also being shot out into space. So anybody wants to be free floating in outer space for all of eternity, you can talk to me about that. We have specials going on in cemetery, which is unusual, which is really weird. At the beginning of the year, they decided to do specials. So right now we're looking for people who want family estates. Family estates are when you have a group of people that want to purchase a plot of land all together, and we can have up to, I think the biggest is 16 people in the family in one location. So if you want to talk to me about family estates, I'm a person. Arlene Jacobs at Dignity Memorial. Thanks.
Can I just say, I love to watch people's faces when they haven't heard her pitch before, and she says, shot out into space. Lamar, your face was terrific. It was exactly what she's looking for. I'm sure of it.
I wish I could see my face at that moment because I know that I was shocked. I was like, shot out into space.
Well, this is being recorded, so we can send you a video of it.
I've got to watch myself. I've got to do this. It's got to happen.
All right. So I'm David Thornton with a Better Choice Network Solutions, your full-service IT company here in Brandon. So we've got a few of the little cameras left. If anybody's interested, they're $37.50. And just to illustrate, It's a little different in style, but it's not a $99 camera. So this is the 3750 camera. And that's the $99 camera. So if you need a camera better than what your laptop has, or if you just looking for a good budget camera, reach out to me because we've got a few of them left. They're usually a $55 camera. It's a really good deal on those, and I've got a few of them left. So we'll keep them at that rate until we sell them off. Let's see. Not a lot of news this week. I mean, there's always a ton of news in the IT world, but we'll just leave it at the camera this week. And if you guys are interested about how to protect your data, make a better choice, call me. Let's go to Ron for his formal presentation. Ron, you can take 10, 15 minutes.
All right. Morning, everyone. Let me just preemptively apologize. I have been working on setting up the ability to arrange and pay for your conference all online because a lot of people don't want to come see people right now. So I have an absolutely massive headache from staring at this screen for days upon days. So I'm a little scattered, but I did notice that everybody has been having these cool graphs. Dave had one full of HTML. Danielle, the unfortunately Yankees fan, go Mets, has that Mario Brothers pipe looking one. So I'm going to share one little thing that I basically had to memorize, and it is this. That is my pipe work that I have to work with. And yes, I literally have all of it memorized.
Share your screen?
Oh,
Share the screen.
yep, that's probably going to work better. So this is my pipe.
There you go.
I need to know all of that. I need to make sure that everything I need to make sure you look good for your family goes through all of this. So that's the only one I'm going to show of that side of my job. So back to my face. I spent the last couple days trying to figure out what I should present on. Most of you guys have been hearing what I do for a while, and it's not really something people want to think about, hear about. And the whole idea behind this is for you guys to get to know me. And I figured the one question that I get asked more than anything is why in the world I would choose to do what I do. Everybody, most people don't understand it. Most people couldn't do it. And I don't say that to like boost myself. I just know what I do. So I figured I'd tell you that. I am a fixer. I have to fix things I see that I don't like how they work. And I've been that way in the job field my whole life. So years ago, I managed a home for mentally disabled adults. Did it for about 8 years, absolutely loved it. And the people I took care of were basically my family. It was under Catholic Health Services. They absolutely had the guy's best interest in mind, but more so from like a health perspective. I wanted them to have kind of better lives than just being kept in a residential environment, interacting with themselves and interacting with the staff. So I had to pitch it for a while, but they finally let me do it. We really focused on getting them out in the community, getting jobs, just as like baggers at grocery stores. I had one girl who actually ended up getting to work the photography department at CVS. That was super cool. But we worked on plans to better them and better their lives. And I did it for a long time, and that ended up leading me kind of into what I do now. I know that sounds weird, but you'll get why. I had one girl who basically, she was pretty special, and she pretty much became like my daughter. I spent my days off. I took her out with me. Like I love the hell out of that girl, and she ended up getting congestive heart failure and passing. And you know, a lot of those guys end up passing at a younger age. It's just kind of part of the DNA. And due to her being higher functioning, being able to be in the community by herself, she made connections everywhere. And you know, I know it was a company thing where they couldn't buy her like the big funeral and whatnot. But the funeral home that they had the service at, she had 250 people show up to it, and most of them were just people she met in the outside world. And since she was so friendly, they became close. You know, I was dropping her off at people's houses all the time for dinner, and she was just for the life that she lived, she was a pretty impactful person. So the room that they got her was big enough for 25 people. On both sides of it were those fold out walls so that you can make rooms bigger. And the funeral home literally told us that unless we pay the money, they're not opening those walls. You know, so we had people lined up in the parking lot. It was, you know, it was just for somebody that had a life like that, they deserved more. Um, and on top of that, you know, and the one thing that I really enjoy with my job is the back of the room stuff. They didn't put any makeup on her. They just slicked her hair back. She looked like a man. It was terrible. And even the guys that I took care of in that house all kept asking me, "Is that Camille? Is that Camille?" Like they didn't even recognize her. So, you know, it's been 12 years, 13 years since that day, and it still weighs very heavily. Um, you know, and you kind of it's a hard way to get over somebody passing when you spent that whole time just pissed at how bad it was. So I did not become a funeral director right away. It just wasn't something I could do. And I ended up being an electrician. So I did that for a number of years. And then the other thing that I do, you can probably guess from what me and Lamar were discussing. I also seen in Florida there's a horrific world of recovery homes where people are being taken advantage of, living in housing with bed bugs, and I'll I don't need to get into all that, but it's really bad. This state is really bad due to the amount of treatment centers here. So I saw a need for that, and I spent a couple of years saving a whole bunch of money and taking state courses and whatnot, and opened up two sober living homes. And it's been awesome. That changed my life. I get to help 25 guys at a time get back on their feet, get back into society. But it also enabled me to finally go back to school to become a director and do what I've wanted to do since that day 12 years ago. So basically, my whole goal getting here was to fix that. Do everything I can to get the families to actually be able to say goodbye, not, you know, feel like they need to spend a ton of money just to get a good service, feel like they need to do all the work themselves. So we kind of here we tend to go way above and beyond. A couple of the places I've worked, we try. But the idea for me isn't to sell. It's to help that family. My back of the room stuff, like I said, was the thing that was most important to me. I really focused on that for a long time. To I don't want to get gruesome, but the massive trauma, people that die really bad deaths, that was the one thing I really wanted to focus on. I also worked at a haunted house, one of the big ones in the country, and did a lot of their special effects makeup. I never thought I would be good at makeup. Turns out I'm really good at it. So what I ended up really focusing on was that major trauma, restorative arts to get families to be able to see them and say goodbye. I can't. A lot of times families are amazed that they can even see their son, daughter, mom, dad again. I had one that the gentleman unfortunately got hit by an 18-wheeler, and it was a director out of town, so we had to embalm the body, ship it to their state, and the director had told them they're not going to see his face. I had to beg, but I got my boss to let me spend 17 hours getting that guy to look good, and they got to say goodbye. I can't show pictures. I don't want to show pictures, but suffice it to say, that's my biggest love, is seeing a family getting to see and say goodbye. Without having that mental image, it makes a difficult time for people to say goodbye. But eventually, when I started doing what I'm doing now, we're not preparing bodies at the moment. We're not doing in-house showings of the body. That's coming in the future, but I found out that I also had a love for actually sitting and talking to the families. My arrangements take a little bit longer than I probably should, because I end up really finding out about who the person was. If you've been to a funeral that's been pretty generic, where the director comes up and reads their every funeral script and just tells people to come up and talk, and there's no cathartic anything to that. If I can come up and find out a whole bunch of personal things about that person's life, tell you the accomplishments, tell you the good times, the bad times, people can leave knowing that person a little bit better. Gives you a better sense of saying goodbye. So these days, not everybody does services, but if we can sit just getting everything ready to do a cremation without any services and whatnot, the family sitting and doing that with me, getting that talking going on, getting those memories going, just for a simple thing like that, it helps a lot. So that's, in a nutshell, my goals in life, my goals here, just help people. As far as what we exactly do, I know most of you guys have heard, but just in case, Compassionate Cremations, obviously from the name, you can tell that we specialize in cremation. We also handle memorials, burials, graveside services, shipping, cremation shipping. We're heavily focused on local business. My urn maker is a local veteran who can't really do too much outside work, so he does carpentry and makes all of our urns handmade, as ordered. Our florist is pretty much 2 doors down. We do have another urn company for people that don't want wood urns, and they're in Sarasota. So we really try to keep it in the community. We want to be a part of the community. Like I had said, our other focus is keeping things on a more affordable basis. I don't disagree with funerals being costly, in a sense where people, if you can get more, paying more, and family can afford that, then do it. But we kind of focus on the families that can't, and still try to give them the high priced services as best as we can. Outside of that, I think that's probably about 10 minutes, and I need to put coffee in me to get this headache to go away. Go Mets. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ron. Yeah, you also, I know in a previous thing you had some urns that you showed that were really cool, for different reasons. And also, do you have any pictures of your location there available? And if they're not readily available, don't worry about it. We can do it another time. I was just curious.
Yeah, my computer's a disaster right now. So maybe next week I can show a couple of those. Otherwise, in the notes or the website, and everybody's welcome to check that as well. But I will show my favorite urn of Kirk's, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, bear with me here.
No, we will. No problem.
So this is his veteran flag case. Where my arrow is, obviously, that's a flag. The U.S. government provides all veterans with a flag. We take care of that and present it. And then down here in this area is actually where the cremated remains are kept. Also here, though, if the veteran had earned medals and whatnot, they can all actually be displayed. So it's a really, to me, really beautiful way to honor that person's life. The other thing, not urn related, but he also does super cool tables that I display my urns on. He'll actually like pour really cool lucite stuff in there. So he especially made that for me for my printer. But yeah, he does some pretty incredible work.
And you're working with somebody who actually, he does everything local, so that's really cool.
Right.
All right. So thanks, Ron. Anybody have any questions for Ron? A really cool background story, Ron. I mean, I've known you now for, God, 6-7 years at least. And I've never heard the backstory. So that's kind of learn something new every day type thing.
I'm an all right guy sometimes.
So a little bit about Biz Pros as a group. We are a independent local networking group. We currently have 2 different meetings, one on Thursday, one on Friday. This is obviously our Thursday meeting, Uptown Biz Pros, servicing the Uptown Tampa area. And then on Fridays, we do the Brandon area. Brandon area was the original group and is a much larger, more fleshed out group. This group is growing and hopefully will continue to do so. We do take dues and we're seat specific, but our dues go towards benefiting the group, and whatever we bring in goes back out either to our group or to local charity. As a general rule, our community of our 2 groups will get together when there's money available and decide on where to spend that money on a local charity. So we are currently shopping for charitable causes. So if anyone knows of anybody who wants to come and pitch our group, they can come do so in the next few weeks or whatever, months, and we will, we'll decide as a group on where to spend our money. So we do prefer local charitable groups rather than, like Red Cross or anything like that. So there's plenty of need everywhere. So what else do we have? Dave, you got anything?
No.
All right. Anybody have thank yous or acknowledgments for the last week?
I guess I'll go ahead and throw something in here. Something that I've been working on for the past week is a promo video for my app So Hard. I do not have OBS fired up, so I can't really play an awesome video like Dave did. It would take too long to get OBS working and get it configured to make this work. But yeah, I definitely literally yesterday, right before the networking meeting where I met you, David, I had finished putting the final touches on it. So now I have a really slick sort of animated, here's what So Hard is introduction that kind of has some shots of the app, and I'm sure that if anybody wants to take a look, we can hop on a call some other time and I can show that to you. But I was very excited to get that finished yesterday.
Excellent. That means you just have to come back and show it to us.
That's right.
Next week or the week after, once you get OBS going, you got to come back and show it to us again. Thanks to Dave for all the hard work he's been doing lately on our website. I know that as he hasn't mentioned yet today, but Google has got some new measurements as to how they rank your SEO and everything else coming up in May. And so Dave's been working on analyzing my site to make sure that that it's actually ready to go and meet those standards. So that's really exciting. What else? Thanks to Danielle for coming today and wearing her New York shirt. despite the fact that last night she had a headache and was not sure she was going to be able to make it.
I
So
still have
she made
it.
it.
I think honestly, I think it's well, I'm stressed as heck because taxes. But I think it's the weather.
Yeah,
Ron, does
there's a big change in weather.
when the weather changes?
Yeah, it's going to be
And
chilly
the
tonight.
pollen and the,
Oh,
I mean,
I
I'm all
buried my
congested and
contacts for the first time in like a week and a half, and it was really a bad life decision.
mm, yeah, I'm feeling it right here too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So, all right.
I will not be here tomorrow, just to say that I'm not going to be on the branding call. I did want to thank Deb Baker. She sent me a lovely note, and for no reason. I mean, I did a recommendation and I did a referral to her, and she sent me a really sweet thank you card in the mail. She actually mailed it to me. So who does that? But that was really nice.
She handled the card and put it in an envelope and mailed it.
Handwritten.
It wasn't a send out cards one like
No, it was handwritten. And she actually had to go and buy this thing and write it and send it and stick a stamp on it.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah, Deb actually is really sweet, even though she comes across sometimes as being very blunt, I guess. Blunt, correct, yeah. So.
Well, sometimes blunt is necessary. The person I sent her to, I think, needed blunt.
Oh,
so
good.
Hopefully it worked out.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's okay. Like I said, the fact is that we actually love not having the same meeting on Thursday that we have on Friday. So, it's perfectly fine. Obviously, there's three of us here that are leadership, and we kind of attend both. But for the most part, it's nice to see some new faces. And we also want to grow this group. So please come back, first of all. And second of all, when you do come back, bring someone, bring a guest. We do have a few faces that have been consistently attending that didn't make it this week. I'm sure they'll be back next week. I would attribute it probably more to the holiday week.
Yeah, Misty said she's sorry she couldn't make it. She was planning on it, but then things came up, so she apologized.
So yeah, we'll look forward to seeing Misty again next week. For those of you that I won't see tomorrow, y'all have a very safe holiday weekend and happy Easter. And we will see y'all again. I'm not going to keep you past the time that we need to be here. So I will see y'all again a week from today.
Happy Easter, everyone.